Starlight 아래 나란히 앉아서 두근두근 얘기할 때 Moonlight 위에서 너와 춤을 추듯 You and I are up in the sky You make it feel like spring break earthquake 나는 들어너 풀 수 없는 숙제 같아 넌 아이스크림보다 더 달콤해 And you make me down down 정말 모르겠어 널 말야 또 망설이지마 자석처럼 끌리잖아 Do you wanna take it? Gotta keep the pace So you better stop wasting time Can you just give me a sign? 오직 날 향한 green light 굳이 말하지 않아도 알잖아 I'll be yours and you will be mine 시리 마치 번개 눈이 마주칠 때 Know you hit the switch on me 내 맘속에 퍼지는 종소리 Oh my god 넌 뭔데 Running on my mind like all day 놓치기 전에 서둘러줄래 정말 모르겠어 널 말야 더 망설이지 마
All right, kids, day 2 is about to kick off. And if yesterday was any indication, we're in for another wild ride. The battlegrounds are calling and the stakes are higher. Teams have had the night to regroup, rethink their strategies, and sharpen their sights. So you already know today's matches are going to bring the heat. My name is Red Queen, together with Contra, and we are your casters for this ruthless invitational showdown.
That's right, and if you guys miss out on the first day of action, there's plenty of teams that have represented SEA well by securing plenty of chicken dinners back in day 1. We're waiting to see if there's going to be any form of answers coming out of South Asia and beyond. The only other team that have scored the chicken dinner other than the SEA region was Alpha 7, where they've definitely had a phenomenal start to kick off the first map of the evening. And we'll see whether if they can do exactly that once more moving into day 2, because the race is looking very, very tight. But that being said, we'll definitely show you guys the leaderboards to get a better picture of how the teams are performing as of late.
But before we dive into the matches this evening, ladies and gents, don't forget to hit that sub button to Ruthless Hype Esports YouTube channel, because again, we've got so many things going on. We've got so much action to show you guys, so you don't want to miss any of that. And while you are at it, don't forget to show us some love and support as well by following our social media platforms, Contra, and of course, Red Queen Andy. And you're right. Am I looking at the same? Okay. I mean, you're right, Contra. You know, Alter Ego Eras definitely coming in hot. You know, they're ready to defend their spot at the top, but let's see if that is going to be the case up until the end of this evening. But then again, we are showing you guys the point system so that if you would want to keep track of how many points your favorite team or your favorite player have already put up onto the scoreboard, well, this is what you will have to use so that you can calculate just how many points well, your team already has.
That's right, as this has been the stock standard format that we've seen coming in for multiple tournaments globally as well. So if you guys are brand new to it, this is how we actually roll throughout the course of the run. So that being said, we will definitely see a lot of teams to be acquiring more points per eliminations in that kind of standpoint. Now, I'm definitely eager to actually see the rise of all the teams throughout the course of the run. We've concluded Night of Champions, and we continue on with this second day, as we will also have 2 more days of action for tomorrow and the day after. So make sure you guys do stay put and tune into whatever is going to happen on the final 2 days as well. And of course, we absolutely appreciate all of you guys coming in very early to the program for today. So of course, we have 6 maps to play out, and that was how we're going to start off the show here. I believe we're going to be starting things off inside of Wrangle once again. I could be wrong. It could be a Miramar start, but How it will begin is that we will have all these teams separated into three groups out of all the 24 teams, and each respective teams get to play 4 matches per day. That's how things are going to be
Yes.
looking like.
You know what? I'm happy that you guys are spending your Sunday with us because usually this day is like for family and friends or like something of a get together with your relatives, right? But I'm
Mhm.
happy because, well, instead of I don't know, maybe this is kind of your bonding thing, all right, that you guys are watching some PUBG Mobile action. But just in case you weren't able to watch day number one of the Ruthless Invitational Showdown, so this is how it's going to go down. It's 24 teams, 3 groups, and 6 matches a day. So it's a different format if we are going to compare it with the Night of Champions that we've just had quite recently. Now, for the group division, and of course the teams that are be playing for this tournament, we've got Group A, Group B, Group C, and I'm pretty sure that you guys already have your favorite teams that you would want to support, for the entirety of this tournament.
That's right, and overall, the Group B looking super stacked with those names on board. And not to
Hmm.
also mention Group C, we got those heavy hitters BTR, Four Tribes, The Savior Vampire, as well as Nongshim Red Force. So, honestly, Group C are the ones that are currently leading the pack when we have BTR, Vampire Esports, and even the likes of The Savior, who scored that double chicken dinner by the tail end of the night. And they are now the ones pretty much sitting on the podium right now.
Vampire Esports, is it? I thought it
The
was Alter
Savior.
Ego Errors. Okay, was it Vampire Esports?
It was the
Are they?
Savior, no?
Is it the Savior? Okay,
You got me
we'll find
confused
out
right
in
now.
just a while. We'll find out in just a while. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Contra. Day number one of the Invitational Showdown definitely set the tone for what's shaping up to be a fierce competition. Teams from Southeast Asia and South Asia battled across diverse terrains, giving us a deeper look into their strategic priorities and, of course, dynamics. And Southeast Asia's dominance, like Alter Ego Eras, there's also Hawaii Sports, that showcased exceptional zone control that we talked and discussed about yesterday quite frequently, to be honest, because there were a lot of surprise clutches that came from a lot of players in the game.
Indeed, there's definitely a lot of big plays out there, including the one that we've witnessed coming out of Sem9's very own Superboy, where he just managed to turn
Oh
a
man.
1 versus 4 against Four Tribes of all teams. Four Tribes, they have definitely looked to be one of the most amazing teams when it comes down to four
Absolutely.
versus fours, but that was just overwhelming, which nobody had actually expected that before. And of course, here in the Ruthless Invitational Showdown, I guess you could say we should always expect the unexpected.
Oh, definitely. And that's what makes it a very special match, if in case we see something that's kind of explosive, right? And if you mentioned Superboy, I am not over what Levi's did during, was it? Oh, yeah. I mean, was it yesterday? I think it was
Hmm.
yesterday,
It was
right?
just
When
yesterday.
he, yeah, that was yesterday. So when he actually, I think also eliminated the whole of Weibo Gaming all by himself.
It's crazy. I
It
mean,
was crazy.
there's just
It's
so many of all
insane.
these big moments out there, and we're about to create even more together. So sit back and relax. And I believe we'll show you guys the standings in a moment's time. So, of course, we'll give production a little bit more time. So, hope you guys would be patient with us for as we're also very, very eager to start the show.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've been excited, since this morning. I've been looking at the scores of each team, so I don't even know why I forgot who is at the top spot. Or maybe because I just know that there were a lot of teams that really put up a great
Mhm.
show yesterday. I mean, it was unexpected, to be honest, because usually day number one is kind of a chill game, for most of the teams. But I feel like maybe it was because of the Night of Champions, where like Four Miracle vibes, right off the bat, they gave us like quite a bombastic performance, and they were able to maintain that from day one and day number two. And it's the same thing that is happening, or that happened during day number 1 of the Ruthless Invitational Showdown. And since, we are coming in hot for day number 2, ladies and gents, this is the time for them to actually build that solid foundation so that they can maintain their lead in the overall standing. And of course, we will not fail to mention the overall MVP of the of day number 1. Of course, that's Alter Ego Era's BX666, 14 elimination, and we've got 2,626 damage output. And if you guys continue on sharing this live broadcast to everyone out there, maybe, just maybe, we can unlock this silhouette of a character.
Yeah, or hopefully production will just spill the tea and tell us who exactly that is. Maybe they don't even have a single clue at all. I mean, up till now, nobody really knows who this guy is. It could be Rosemary, it could be Alba, whoever else that's playing inside of Alter Ego that's still on board. But we are also expecting perhaps a little bit of roster shuffle coming into the PMSL SEA region. Meanwhile, of course, we do have Woon T that's been on board and has been hitting all these big numbers for Dingo Saber to see him thrive alongside with another brother coming from Vietnam, and that is going to Team Flash's very own win. Following closely is No Fear, who has been able to dish plenty of damage throughout his run.
You know what? I am absolutely a fan of Woon T here of D Saber. I don't think I think I'm very straightforward about it. I've been a fan since he was in Team Flash, but you know what? Absolutely great because of the fact that there's another star or rising star perhaps in Team Flash, and that would be Win. Setting up a total of 15 elimination points and 2,292 damage output. Hence, he is currently sitting at the top of the list as the overall fragger.
Yeah, and him being a new kid on the block for Team Flash as well, this has been looking absolutely impressive of what his team can actually achieve, since you did mention Batman aka Woon has already joined in with the likes of the Saber, which of course are the top dogs of the tournament. Now look at the standings. That double chicken dinner yesterday until end of the night have seen the Saber shoot all the way up to the top. Meanwhile, VTR Vampire Esports follows very, very closely on 49 as well as 47 respectively. Horror Esports have yet to actually score a chicken dinner, but you can see that even 4MV Alter Ego are falling at the 40-pointer margin very closely. So if they do score a chicken dinner, I believe they're going to be able to easily challenge whoever's at the top right now.
At least for the first page, we can see that it's still diverse, right? It's not really dominated by a country just yet. But if we're going to talk about, like, is it dominated by a region, that there's no doubt that it's the teams coming from Southeast Asia. So come on, guys, bring in your support for the South Asian teams. Make a lot of noise down there in the comment section so that they can feel that energy, and perhaps they can use that when they get inside the game. Now, coming in at second place, we've got ASI, it moving up a rank here, 4 Tribes as well. So this is maybe the upper half section of the leaderboard. But for Alpha 7, even though getting a chicken dinner, they still move down a couple of ranks here. GLU, the only team I can see here that had a lot of improvement in terms of their gameplay would be the Koreans, of course, the NS Red Force.
Yeah, it seems like they're just settling in as well. That last couple of matches will see them thrive a little bit more to be able to move into the top 5 ratio. Meanwhile, D plus Kia 7-9 as well as Thunder Talk, they definitely have seen slight progress, but still lagging behind as compared to the rest of the pack. You can say the same about a lot of the top teams coming in from the PEC. So, of course, they will try to figure things out moving into this day 2 onwards. Now, let's take a look at the top performers. As Vampire Esports, they were leading for most part of the matches before VX comes in with that double chicken dinner, and you can absolutely tell they've got those big numbers to prove it.
Ayo, ikuti kebiar 100 umroh kapal api. Miliaran hadiahnya. Insya Allah bisa umroh.
Nivea Men Deep Espresso Deo dengan Max Tech dan Black Carbon. Perlindungan 72 jam dan wangi segar berkarakter. Tetap aktif dan wangi, siap untuk menangkan hari.
And you know what? I mean, you guys don't even have to worry about your favorite teams just yet, okay? Because we haven't started really the matches for day number 2, so they still got plenty of time to tweak whatever needs calibrating when in terms of their strategy and their gameplays and how they're going to be approaching day number 2 for the Ruthless Invitational. But then again, okay, here is the schedule. We're gonna start off in Erangel, and then we've got Miramar in between here. But okay, before
we marked, so perhaps teams are going to be slowly revealing their cards as well. D plus Kia, especially out of the many names out there, I have definitely had high hopes for them to make a significant point for today, but we'll see if they will be able to at least keep up to the pacing of how a lot of all these teams coming from South Asia, from Mongolia, as well as the rest of SEA, who has been leading the charge for most part of day 1. So hopefully we will actually see certain teams to be able to also stabilize a little bit more. Meanwhile, I guess for the rest of the PEC, if they could just keep themselves alive for really long into the game, there's definitely plenty of chances for them to get their first ever chicken dinner.
You're absolutely right. But you know what? Okay, I just want to address that some of you actually sent me a message yesterday asking why is Nova Esports not included in the list of teams that are playing in the lobby? Well, actually, I don't know. But perhaps, they were busy with something else, or maybe they're playing in another tournament. But I'm definitely sure that Ruthless, if they're available, they're going to be in the lobby. I mean, the fact that they were able to close Alpha 7 to join us for this tournament, absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's great to see that at least we have one NA team joining us for this tournament, because it's a rare thing to happen. I hope this can be a staple thing in Ruthless Invitational. You know what I miss? Like a feature or a segment here from Ruthless is that we get questions, from the comment section and address it. That's the thing that I miss.
Yeah, and of course, keep the questions coming. And I won't be on the comment section, but I know that Andy will be peeping from time to time. So you guys know exactly what to do. Make sure it's appropriate. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Anyways, of course, to me, it's jarring to call Alpha 7 an American team because, they're hailing from Brazil, but I mean, North American. They're technically from South America. I mean, easily we could call it like, Americas in that sense.
Still America.
In a way, perhaps.
Is it north or south? Ooh, what happened?
Well, we'll definitely have to wait for a little bit longer to actually find out.
I don't know if you guys can hear us, but I'm not sure.
Well, I guess
Do we
just
keep talking?
really have to wait for it. So eventually we'll be back on track, ladies and gents. So don't go anywhere. We'll just be chilling for a little bit longer.
Well, if you guys can hear us, I'm thinking, okay, maybe if you do have questions, you can tag us. You post it on your My Day stories and tag us, and then we'll definitely see that, and we'll give you an answer if that happens. Hello, Mission Control. What is happening? Let's talk. Wait, let's check. But we're still rolling though. No. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, I was in the zone already. So thank you so much, Mission Control. I know we just experienced some little technical difficulties, but rest assured, ladies and gents, that production, of course, is working hard to fix everything that needs to be fixed. And so, ta-da! We're back again on the screen.
Yeah, sorry about that, but don't worry, things are still a-okay as we're getting ourselves ready for our first matchup. But of course, look into how the trajectory has been set for majority of all these teams. I'm looking at some of the top teams coming from the PMSL SEA to continue to be on the chase to be able to hit that top one. As for B Savior, all they really want to do is to maintain it because they first started things off a little bit slow. This time around, they're just getting themselves pretty much steady on their tracks. Moving into Wrangle, who are you favoring to secure the first match?
Rumah spesies 2 lantai di Tangerang lengkap dengan shuttle bus ke Jakarta. Ini dia klaster Caksana. Berlokasi di Suwarna Sutra dan hanya 5 menit dari pintu tol Cikupa dan akan dilewati jalur MRT fase 3.
Sambut hari kemenangan dengan semangat untuk awal yang lebih baik. Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Rayakan kemurnian dengan satu kaleng Bear Brand. Bear Brand, rasakan kemurniannya.
I'll go with my Purple Hearts.
Horror Esports.
My Purple Hearts, hello!
There we go, Horror Esports. Well, since you've already picked that, I gotta go for something else. If BTRs is in the game, I'll go for BTRs.
Oh, come on. No. I don't think they're playing for the first match. I think they started.
Oh, yeah.
The
Group C is not on board, so no BTR, no Vampire Esports. D Savior, are they there?
Group C still.
Group C
it's
as
Group
well.
A versus Group B, right? So.
Okay, I want to see Team Secret maybe this time around. Random call, but I hope it works.
Why not? Production, interesting. What team are you gonna pick this time? ASI, hey man,
Strong, love it.
That is a strong one. Yep, no doubt. Raouf. Well, okay, Contra already has 1 point, and I'm putting my fate on to my Purple Hearts, of course, to my Horror Boys, to give me another point, or my first point for day number 2, or at least for this tournament.
Well, I hope that things will work out well enough for you, Andy. But for now, I think that teams are once again re-strategizing. A lot of hot drops happen in the early span of these matches, but other than that, I think that a lot of the teams are still feeling well adjusted to the current pacing that's being set by the teams hailing from both South Asia as well as Southeast Asia. So I'm definitely excited to actually see if there's gonna be even more of those direct challenges that we are getting from the PEC teams, because majority of these teams are the ones hot dropping, challenging the likes of Vampire Esports, the Savior, you name it. It's been pretty much ongoing for a very, very long time now.
Well, yeah, the only thing I could say about the PL teams that we have in the lobby, since I've learned just quite recently, to be honest, that, PEL and PUBG is, they do have this different versions, right? So, again, they already have the skill, they already have the talent to play like an FPS game, so that's the most basic thing that they can learn. But it's okay to be a beginner, and then you learn about everything, because you have to start somewhere, right? I mean, every master was once a beginner. So for the teams, like the PEL teams that we have right now in this tournament, I think by the time when we get to a point wherein they've already mastered this version, then I think that's the start of the real battle for the other Southeast Asian teams and South Asian teams. Then that's going to be wonderful. That's going to be exciting and all the more fun for us.
Yeah, it feels kind of wrong for us to actually say that as well. Like they definitely are masters. Like I would just blatantly say it's just
Their
ping
version.
difference, right? It's just ping difference because the PEL guys, of course, they play on the Peacekeeper Elite
Hmm.
variety, but essentially it's pretty much the same game. Like, perhaps what they really need to do is to make certain adjustments in their settings,
Oh,
which
really?
can be pretty much annoying because you gotta recalibrate your sensitivity, all these small little nuances. But overall, I think like it's just about connecting through that VPN. That's one layer, and then you're playing on a different version at the very same time. That makes it even more difficult because that ping difference can be anywhere from 200 ping to 500 ping.
Yeah.
So there's no going on about it. Yeah.
Oh man, I really don't know. I mean, I just talked to someone from PL just a few days ago, and I've asked why, like why they're not really performing. With I actually put out a content about that, and he just mentioned that we have a different version. I mean, it's almost the same thing, but quite a few like differences in the game. So I haven't played it, to be honest. I haven't seen it, but anyway, we're gonna kick things off in Erangel here, ladies and gents, and we are about ready to see a lot of action happen coming from groups A and B, and it's the showdown that we have been waiting for.
And here we go into our very first game of the night as the wait is over. Sorry for a little bit of hiccups, but we're finally arriving into the map that we all know and love. A very straightforward flight from the north to the south, and that's going to allow the members of Orbital Bus to rapport. Well, at least that's going to be Group C, so we'll definitely have to see who else actually takes the island. So, looking rather interesting on how this flight path still kind of skewers over onto the regions of Gakta at the very same time. So, definitely going to be a little bit tough for certain teams who are loving areas like Nova.
And again, if we are looking at the handsome pictures that we can see over to the left side of the screen here, again, yesterday we didn't have any portrait of Win coming from Team Flash, and he just dethroned. I believe that was Doc that he dethroned. I'm not sure, with the most number of points of knockouts, damage, and one more. Okay, another title. But yeah, I mean, getting into action here. Oh, what an opening! We've got a clash from Team Flash up against which teams are they playing? Oh, Alter Ego Ares!
Wow!
What?
Just like that, they just crumble. It's a clean sweep. But wait a minute, Team Flash, they can get points out of it.
Yang ini coklat, rich, dark chocolate.
Kalau yang ini rasanya kayak sereal coklat. Pasti Chocomal.
Dark chocolate ketemu kopi. Mocha.
Maudi, ahlinya outside.
No. Outside, ahlinya oatmeal.
What's going on? Are they supposed to get points out of it?
Oh, okay, maybe John Wick actually got those points. Anyway, just kidding. We don't know what is happening currently, but yeah, that's a big question mark right there. But anyway, okay, there's more to go, ladies and gents. We've got Rogue Warriors over here going up against the production's choice of team ASI8. I can already see Baby right there, pretty close with the double Z of Rogue Warriors, but ZZ over here is not making a move. I think he's gauging whether or not it's safe to attack or to open fire up against anyone from ASI, but right now it's not really the perfect timing for him. His teammate, though, is so far away that I don't think he can back him up.
Yeah, that's the weird situation that they're dealing with at this current moment. But at the very same time, let's look at the current scenario of all the teams mentioned. It seems like they are going to be able to at least have XL on the way around it, and this is going to be a little bit rowdy for ZZ. And just like that, he goes in for a jump shot, but not quite enough to take them down. Decent damage done. XL being spotted as well, as ASIA takes charge of the north point of the city of 70.
I mean, obviously, Rogue Warriors at a deficit here. I mean, they entered the game with three members, so that puts them at a disadvantage. And ASI8 right now, pretty aggressive gameplay coming from them. I mean, they don't. I mean, they're not showing any mercy at the moment. Casanova right now behind this concrete, broken down wall. Trying to go for a spray here. It's a dance off, ladies and gents, but I can see him really succeeding on this one since the opponent is pretty low in HP. Okay, just look at him mucking his enemy right from the start. Oh, but what just happened? What?
Exo. He managed to turn the tides around. Now it's down to 1 versus 1. This has been the strongest fight that we've seen coming out of Rogue Warriors in the entire tournament. And he's looking to secure the point already backing 2. And take a look at that. Crypto, he's getting tagged up already. So this is not going to be all too straightforward. Even if he does lob the grenade, there's just ample time for them to go in for the wraparound. XL does secure it. And just like that, 3 elimination points are in the bag.
That was insane, man. Like, I wasn't really expecting that to happen. I mean, he was able to pull up a clutch. You know, that was kind of a miracle for me. I mean, he didn't have any HP, and he just really found that perfect timing to shut down Casanova from that exchange. And it's a little bit of a struggle from the side of Baby to pick his teammate up. I mean, understandably so, because he doesn't even know where his opponent is exactly. So obviously ASI don't want to be reckless at this point. You know, they don't want to make any rush decisions just yet. But in any way, Weibo Gaming, we still got one more player who's still up there in the air, hasn't landed just yet. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen later on, or meanwhile rather, we're looking at Tiamba right now. They're currently rotating. Not exactly sure where they're headed exactly, but probably will still go through towns and get some more resources before they get into any engagement.
Sure enough, while of course we will have the entire team to be traversing. I noticed that there's a certain bug in this kind of mob where when they do get those kills, initially you saw Team Flash, they got those big points, right? Taking down the entirety of Alter Ego. On the team defeat score, it counts as 0. So if you guys want the real numbers, do stare at the leaderboards on the right side of your screen just to know what exactly is going on. But other than that, I think the coast is clear. We can see it with our own eyes how rowdy these fights have been, where Alter Ego crashing out, ASI getting turned over by Rogue Warriors. Now it's down to that 1v1, which is a little jarring to start things off with. Not really the easiest way to actually get things going for production who's, you know, put the predictions onto ASI8, while Team Flash are also getting knocked here by the members of A1 Esports.
Oh yeah. We've got one of them currently knocked down, and that would be Tops, ladies and gents. We don't exactly know where he is at the moment, or if he is actually being revived. Okay, I see him. Okay, but yeah, it'll take time for him to get picked up at this point, since A1 is spread out a little. But here comes Bows, defying all odds to save his teammate. I got you, brother. I'm coming up.
Hadiah terbaik adalah hadir sepenuhnya Nescafe.
And the rest of Team Flash, they got ample of room to actually play out around this area of the map. Polyana, whoa! Weibo takes on their brothers coming from Tianba. It is going to be a full flush being sent towards this sector of the map, while the rest of the pack seems to be sitting tightly inside the urban terrain. I love all these teams so far engaging around that sector, and we expect perhaps even more bloodshed to go, but for now, coast seems to be pretty clear for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that A1 Arrow's picking up the pace. They seem to have the upper hand advantage since they were able to shut down one player from Team Flash here. It's also a good thing that I guess they're really gauging the situation this time. They're getting all the information before they make any hard push. But we can see Hitman here. Okay, he's cooking up the nade, getting ready to throw up against someone here, just across the building though. Completely missed his target, but I think he's going for the second one here to try and flush him out, or maybe disorient Team Flash.
Zone is also closing in. They gotta quickly wrap up the fight. As you can see that the map is actually skewered all the way down towards the south corner, which is why everybody is bunched up over on the course of Milta at this current moment. Oh boy, this is just to settle the scores. And here we go, the push set perfectly from Win as he goes in to take down Hitman 47.
Again, that was impeccable timing coming from the win of Team Flash. A great counter as well. Now, A1 Arrow down to just 2 players here. Great counter, again, coming from Team Flash. We're able to turn the tables up against the Bangladeshi. So let's see what Rowdy is going to do in this situation. I mean, Rowdy also has this reputation wherein he's very good and very accurate with the aim, and especially critical, position. But here comes Rowdy now with a shot, and he was able to get a point, but he wasn't able to finish that because Team Flash was able to do a massive counter. That was a great follow through. Hence, Team Flash again survived this event. So we're down to our lone wolf again, which is Sinister.
Yeah, Team Flash absolutely scoring pretty big numbers in this round itself. Already at 7 points, the blue zone now kicks in. As Zeus still looking out for the final member remaining. Tops will really have to heal himself up. He's only got a couple of bandages. The struggle about committing towards the fight is that they have barely looted up just yet, so now they're struggling to even find those first aids around the entire sector of Yesta Pollyanna, and they eventually will have to pick up those vehicles to drive further down south, either to Lipovka or directly onto that Milta Power. Anywhere around the hillside across the lumberyard is going to be a tough space to play out because a lot of teams are looking for that high ground, and if you're going to be late, then you better be safe every step of the way.
You cannot afford to have a late game entry here. I mean, considering the circle that we have 60% water at least. So we don't have that much space to begin with, for the teams here. So there is a need for them to get inside as early as now. I mean, we are just at stage 2, but compounds are running out, and most of the teams are over to the west side. They're already flocking in close in proximity, and I'm pretty sure the moment that we step into stage 3, there will be a lot of teams that will not make it to stage 4.
That's right, and I also did take notice when we panned the camera to Formico Vibes. Baron is playing for today, and I had to check who exactly got subbed out on the roster. Whoever they put is always going to be a great game so far for Formico Vibes. It's great to have fresh hands on board for Alpha 7 stuck in the middle of these members of LGD, and this is not going to be an easy task for them to take on the fight, but they are further committing into this tussle as we're looking at them pretty much locked in. Well, Team Flash are also driving towards this direction. It might just be a three-way warfare. Meanwhile, Circle moves deeper and deeper into Milta Power. Barely enough space, but RRQ looking to dominate that sector.
This is going to be a bloodbath over here. I mean, we've got a lot of teams headed towards the same direction. We've got Tian now getting taken out of the equation. Same thing goes for M2 and Afu. So I feel like the entirety of LGD's, just got eliminated. Alpha 7 gaining a total of 7 elimination points. Unfortunately, though, from that exchange, clearly already back in the lobby, but with 1 point. So that is still
I'm on chocolate mint, mari biskuit. Chocolate cashew tiramisu coklat blueberry hazelnut, salted caramel peanut butter strawberry bebas laktosa matcha. Aduh, lagunya nggak muat. Susu Cimori rasanya banyak banget.
quite a good performance. Now we've got Mafioso on the screen, ladies and gents, but Apple 7 attacking the blue. That was a massive spray again coming from Mafioso with a DP28. That put a stop on Bao's track, but great follow through again from Zhuz of Team Flash.
Did you just see how snappy he is on the DP? Despite having a machine gun, he uses that so sharp as if it was, I don't know, an AUG or something. There was barely any recoil on how they actually came out. Save goes to win. He manages to take him out of Pickle. There goes Revo. Oh my word. 8 points already for Team Flash, but this might just be the end of it because one after another, they again pinched down. And the last we checked, they don't have enough meds. While they leave, yes, not Pollyanna, so this is going to be a world of hurt while they are further committing. There is still Zeus. Over to the other corner. He tries to straight back quickly as goes Quadfu. He's just settling it down, but instead, it's Bose that saves the day, and it's already 10 points for Team Flash.
Oh man, Team Flash playing on another level here. They're on a killing spree, and the fact of the matter is, they're still a complete squad, which is, I can say, a phenomenal performance because it's not easy to get the whole squad up until the latter stages of the game here, considering the kind of lobby that we have. But then again, this doesn't guarantee that they can make it to the last few zones of the game, considering that they still need to travel to get into the safe zone, right? And there's Sem9 guiding that rim of the circle there. And well, I'm pretty sure that if they have a chance to pick up some points, that's exactly what they're going to do in this situation.
Yeah, whoever survives the top 8 cut at least will get themselves. RQ definitely is going to be the one that will be able to secure it, and now they wear it down to only 9 teams available. A1 Esports only have that one player. Great spot on shot coming from Nugget. And I'm just trying to think who exactly is going to be in the right form to be able to challenge RQ in that position, because to enter built-up power, you would have to go very deep into it. I guess I got my answers right here on the map. Is going to be Horror Esports. So your pick right now, looking to be able to secure plenty of room. And a lot of these teams will just rush towards this section because the only available space to play is literally built-up power.
Exactly.
This is a rare circle.
Oh, it's going to be the war zone here. I mean, the good thing about Horror Esports is that they're already inside Mill to Power. So the question is if they are strong enough to hold a very good defense. But I feel like they're down to just 2 players, if I'm not mistaken, because I can only see Jiggle and Sky here. So I'm just checking if, okay, so 2 already out of the game. So, I mean, just imagine the amount of teams headed towards the same direction. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that GLU, For Miracle Vibes, even RQ are going to have an exchange here. So Sem9, just as we called it, they're trying to do some gatekeeping stuff. So preventing other teams to get inside the safe zone. So let's see if they can get some points or get some job done from the situation.
Yeah, this is a very rare case where it just skewers all the way down to the very thin corner of the map, while we are looking at the exchange of nades between Blue Squad as well as for MV. And right top of the hillside is the RRQ that has been holding over onto the corners and have finally spotted out tops. So that's one member down before MV. Still Trebor. That's going to be able to at least receive that information to work around with what they have. Also trying to attack onto the rotating members of WBG. As you can definitely tell, WBG is struggling to even find that space, and believe that was a little bit of a latency where we even see their UAVs be actually shifted back for a moment. Also does actually secure it. So WBG, they have gotten themselves 4 points. This has been one of the best starts that WBG has, and now they are looking to eventually challenge the rest of Team Flash and also Sem9 at the very same time, just by the corner of the factory grounds, just on the outskirts of the Build Power.
I mean, just imagine the number of teams that we already have inside Mill to Power. Again, it's going to be crucial for a lot of teams, not just for Horror Esports. The thing is, Horror Esports, they're already at a disadvantage considering that they're just, like a duo here. D plus Kia, I do understand why they're kind of hesitating to get inside Mill to Power. I mean, it's already crowded in there. So I think this is a smart choice to let the other teams battle it out first before they jump into the mix here. I mean, there's also RQ outside. There's Team Secret, and even For Miracle Vibes. They're just at over to at the fence there. So I think the fight will just happen between Sem9, Team Flash, Hora, and GLU for now. Even Weibo Gaming. But then again, if RQ and the other teams are still outside Milta Power, they can get lucky with the shots and try to do third party from time and time.
Absolutely agree with that. And the only type of team that can challenge RRQ from their position is a Team Secret or whoever actually outlasts the duel inside of Milta Power Factory Grounds at the moment. Still hard to actually figure it out because Sem9 they still have that strength of 4 members. They will have to run inside of the compound. So this is not quite the urban setting that I expected to actually end. It's so jarring to actually see Milta Power to be played like this. But it's always something new here in the battlegrounds as we're looking at RQ expecting a lot more visitors now.
Nggak mau. Nggak mau yang ini. Nggak mau yang ini. Tapi kalau yang ini enak.
Gimana?
Enak. Tapi diminum langsung juga enak.
Enak untuk semua. Outside, ahlinya oat milk.
They're trying to attack their closest competitor, Team Secret, over on the south side. So for the moment, I think they could just sit still. They don't really have to challenge each other. If there's going to be either teams that's moving deeper to the region, at least Team Secret can take care of the south. The rest of RQ can take care of the north.
The thing is, we don't even know where the next circle is going to land. I mean, there's this possibility that it will go back to the left side at least. So again, the unpredictability is what we love about this game. But in the meantime, let's check out what is happening with RQ. Right now, they're having an exchange with Team Secret. We got MG, aka Lapar here, getting damaged as well from the teams across the fence. An exchange of nades is definitely happening between these two teams. Nerpeiko was able to inflict a lot of damage there, but you know what? Noga has a very good angle to begin with, so he could really provide a very good support for the rest of the team here. But Nerpeiko was able to do an on-point shot at the nade and was able to put down at least 2 members of Team Secret.
Yeah, RQ so far wearing them down. Nades after nades connect, and that angle coming from Nugget has been able to supplement them just about enough to deter Team Secret. And I guess there goes my vote if that's going to be the case. And just like that, Team Secret, despite having a really good position, they challenge RQ at the wrong timing. On the opposite side of the stretch, it is going to be D plus Kia fancying a chance to slowly do some chip damage, pun intended, onto chips of course, while D plus Kia, they are absolutely taking over the south ground where RQ initially was holding on to. So RQ knows exactly where they're currently at. It's just that they're not in the right position to go in for an exchange. Still looking at wounds from that battle up against Team Secret, but you're absolutely right. When this circle shifts, it might actually move back into the factory grounds where a lot of these teams are already situated. So it could be very troublesome for both D plus Kia and RQ at the same time.
Well, it was just unfortunate for the side of Team Secret. I mean, it wasn't a very good spot to begin with. I feel like, it's the most vulnerable spot inside the circle since they don't really have that much cover. And RQ just capitalized on that one. D plus Kia slowly moved to the northern side. They're evenly spread out. So I feel like the first team that they're going to have an altercation with definitely will be 4 Miracle Vibes. And as for Team Flash, they're taking their time. They're not really doing any aggressive push up against Horror Esports at the moment. But it's Sem9 and Weibo Gaming that's been having an exchange for quite some time now.
Yeah, interesting enough. This time they're not feeling you, high boy, and just like that, that push from Sem9 sees them scoring even more points, wiping out Weibo. And here comes the rest of Team Flash. They heard all that noise and they thought that perhaps there's going to be more of these damage to be done. Now, the tandem duo of Horror Esports is going to be charged by the rest of Team Flash. Down to Jingle, he's hiding right behind those boxes, and speaking of which, both have already been knocked down. See Jingle aggressively trying to trade back. Need to be brought out here, but it's going to be a little tough. And just like that, from the top side, Sky has got him covered to take down that member of Team Flash.
See, if you do know how to use that element of surprise, it will always work to your advantage. And that's exactly what we saw coming from Horror Esports. And now the moment of truth here, ladies and gents, is about to unfold. We've got Sky cooking up a nade, potentially shutting down at least a player coming from Team Flash. Completely missed his target, though, but yeah, maybe a little damage inflicted onto Bowser. Now he goes for the Molly. Okay, going a little bit outside, but okay. No hard push just yet, but oh, Jingle with an on-point spray, shutting down Bounce from that angle.
He's just playing mind games with these members of Team Flash, and just like that, slowly kidnapping one after another. Now it's only down to Tops. Not the one from Travis. And here comes, just like that, he breaks out the DBS in time once more as they shut off Team Flash. But that has been 11 massive points that have been gained by the Vietnamese aces. For esports, still well and alive, looking to make the cut into the top 5.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gents. 7 teams remaining, and we are already at stage 6 with 1:30 on the clock before we hit stage 7. We can see that Sem9 boys trying to flush out the remaining players of GLU squad. We've got one of them getting more damage compared to the other one because of those nades. But what risky jump coming from also of D plus Kia. And that is unfortunate because you just know this part is kind of hard to navigate. I mean, there will be no chance for him to get back up, to climb back up to where the fight is already happening. So I guess it's safe to say that D plus Kia is already at a deficit here. But let's see. I mean, 3 is still a good number, for the team. It's still doable. Let's see if D plus Kia can make something out of the situation.
Even the best in the world sometimes have a sort of slip up. So gotta always check where you're.
Nyalakan kemesraan.
Turning over, or you might actually just by the edge of the map. Because, like I said, let me play with 2, while Sem9, they have been able to hustle everybody else, still keeping 4 members well and alive. Now, on to challenge Glue Squad that has been staying stagnant. They've been here for the longest of time, but have not really opened fire all too much. But Superboy is about to change that. Since Superboy has been fielded over a roster, I just felt like Sem9 suddenly have this urge of confidence. Meanwhile, you high subbed in for Kenny, pretty much the same role where they're going to be the aggressive rushers moving into the front line. So down to Kenny, if he's going to be able to at least seek certain angles that Sem9 can go in for a clean push. But for now, they're just absolutely respecting that space that Blue Squad is currently holding. Though it's only 2 members over onto this shack, and he's going to be wrapping things around. Superboy, he's going to waste no time. He's going to be looking for these targets. He knows he's by that corner of the wall, so he's going to be seeing if he can just jump right in for the shot.
Well, you can understand why there's a need for Sem9 to actually get inside of this warehouse, because their position is not a very good one. They're still outside of the zone, and GLU knows that. So they apply this pressure onto the boards of Sem9, and there you go. Effectively done. Amazingly. Coming from GLU squad, and that is it. That was the end of the line for Sem9.
That's pretty crazy. 2 versus 4, and they turned the tides around, and they made it look super easy. Where 3 of these members, they got funneled, and they were hesitating on this push. So that was pretty much anticlimactic, where Sem9 evidently had major advantages. So that is a major mistake. And speaking of which, there are those nades being primed right in. Also managed to climb back up on the other side, but perhaps he may not be able to find the right trajectory to be able to climb all the way further front. Because he is still very much in this matchup, but the rest of RQ is about to alter that fade, dropping those big bombshells. Only connecting onto Fabian as they're already looking for that reset. Forrest this time has been fielded for the side of Nicosia, and now we gotta see what Forrest can do. They did bring one down. Forrest is leading the pack here with that S12K, and here comes the DBS, but Chip's not quite enough. Now 1 versus 2. The Pecco tries to turn the title around. Fabian already back on his feet. So this is just the second time he brings back Fabian on the ground, and just like that, Forrest He paves the path as he shuts down the rest of RRQ.
For the side of RQ, they understood that there's really a need for them to push. They shouldn't have wasted any time to be aggressive up against D plus Kia. I mean, obviously D plus Kia was trying to reset, trying to recuperate from that situation where Fabian is still currently knocked down. But, amazingly, with their great reflex and mechanical skills, D plus K was able to defend themselves even if they are, quite at a disadvantage at that point. And I feel like RQ just missed the opportunity really to be super aggressive in terms of like how they should be approaching that situation. But it's still okay. I mean, you make do of what is available to you at that time. But getting back into For America vibes here, it's unusual. Of course, it's not the usual numbers that we see that they can actually come up with in a match. But given the situation, they really don't have that much chance a while ago to score some points. But perhaps, since we still got 4 teams remaining, potentially they could get all of it. But that is, they play their cards right. But D plus Kia, it will be hard for them to get inside the circle here, Contra. I mean, considering that it's an open space that they have to run to. And yeah, I don't think they still have their vehicles with them.
Ngapain sih?
Lagi mastiin, outside, creamy, enak, tanpa tambahan gula.
Iya, outside manis alami tanpa tambahan gula kan?
Yap, kayak aku.
Enak, creamy, tanpa tambahan gula, outside, ahlinya oat milk.
Do they? Oh, they have. Okay.
Seems like they really do. I mean, I'm just looking at the current 4 teams left available. D plus Kia, ever since they won that fight, they definitely do stand a really strong fighting chance right now to secure that chicken dinner. Blue Squad, we're down to only 1. Horror Esports definitely still has impact in the match so long as Jiggle continues to hit the mark. Now, for Merkel Vibes, they are looking to exit out of the factory grounds, and up till now, D plus Kia is holding over onto the high ground. The rest of Horror Esports stuck within the factory. We'll have to see how exactly do they set foot outwards, because For Merkel Vibes are definitely going to be overlooking onto those compounds at the very same time. It is a very tricky scenario. It's about who actually advances first and reveal themselves, and then the rest of the pack will start to erupt into battle. Speaking of which, Forrest now puts the pressure over onto the citizens of the power towards the angle up against Jiggle, but that's not quite hitting the mark just yet. So Sky, he sees the approach coming in from the Koreans, and they are about to break in the challenge. And here comes the rest of MB, dropping big nades, and Blue Squad is involved as well, getting that double knock. Can they secure those points before it is being stolen away by For Miracle Vibes?
Everyone's ganging up against D plus Kia here, ladies and gents. I mean, the only team that's available for some beating would be D plus Kia, considering their position. I mean, Horror Esports, GLU, 4MB, they do have some cover, but Horror Esports doing an extremely well job of defeating For Miracle Vibes as well. It seems to me like they could win the fight, and yes, sir, my purple horse was able to deliver my point here, ladies and gents, getting the first WWCD for day number 2 of the Ruthless Invitational Showdown.
All it took in that moment was a full set to send everybody in that chaos factory. And my, Aura Esports, despite only having 2 members, you saw how Jiggle and Sky worked together so well to take down even a scary unit like Team Flash, who's gotten like, what, 11 points in this match? They say, no problem, I think we can get even more, and they've just proved to us just that. Wow. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. What a turn of events when we have not only one big curveball in this form of circle moving into build the power of all places, and then you have a duo to take on entire squads and win it outright. This is why we love this team hailing from the Palm.
Well, they were very patient, I can say. They stepped up when it matters most. And Horror Esports, the way that they've gotten the chicken dinner was a smart play, to be honest. I mean, they did not leave that compound and just really waited for the the perfect timing, the right opportunity to knock out some opponents. They weren't greedy. It was just like um they're kind of chill but kind of aggressive at the same time. But you know what? Just because there's like a very positive energy coming from the fans of Horror Esports, I can see a lot of you down there in the comment section spamming purple hearts. So perhaps, one reason why Horror Esports did amazingly well for the first match, it's because perhaps, maybe, just maybe, they are also watching and kind of monitoring the situation. Like, oh, we've got a lot of fans down there in the comment section, so might as well give them a chicken dinner. And boom, chicken dinner.
And just like that, they get their first taste, ending the streak from Southeast Asia of yesterday. And we might just see a dominating run coming in from these gentlemen out there. XKF, alien from Blue Squad, has definitely shown up strong to wipe out the entirety of 7-9. And look at the margin, we do have bigger damage numbers coming in from Zeus of Team Flash, which they took on Alter Ego to begin their run, and then there was Alpha 7 as well, and they've just been on a rampage, so things are looking really good for these teams out there. But nobody will ever top this record for the time being, as it's 7 points gained by Sky with 1,267 damage.
Yep, sky is the limit, ladies and gents. But you know what? I'm also amazed by the fact that how GLU squad was able to defend that compound, or that warehouse rather, up against M9. Again, the way that they applied a lot of pressure up against M9 and they made it very hard for them to get inside the warehouse was just, amazing. We only have like 3 members of GLU squad trying to defend that warehouse, and Sem9 have been throwing a lot of nades just to flush them out, but they stood their ground. They were able to hold on to it and was able to defend that warehouse effectively. So again, that's a great win, for the side of GLU squad. And Horror Esports, despite the fact that they're just down to 2 players, they were
Rumah spesies 2 lantai di Tangerang lengkap dengan shuttle bus ke Jakarta. Ini dia klaster Caksana. Berlokasi di Suwarna Sutra dan hanya 5 menit dari pintu tol Cikupa dan akan dilewati jalur MRT fase 3.
able to hold down the fort as well. So a convincing win, I can say, for the side of Horror Esports. Getting that chicken dinner is just, like a chef's kiss, I can say. Coming in at second place for the match leaderboard, ladies and gents, would be the boys of D plus Kia. They scored a total of 12 points. And also one of the teams that, I guess, had a hard time really getting those points would be D plus Kia. I mean, just imagine the moment that they came crashing that fence where everyone is in. Everyone just started throwing a lot of nades, making it rain bullets. Everyone was ganging up on them, but still, they came in at second here.
It's pretty huge in terms of margin, and it's been a massive run for Alpha 7 to also make certain recoveries to be able to score 8. So everyone's pretty much a winner here. I mean, we definitely see some elements of surprise where Kenba, Alter Ego, and a few notable names got taken out rather early on. Team Secret initially had such a good position, but they were pushing towards the side of RQ, and that kind of pushed them a little bit lower in terms of the ranking in this match. This time, plenty more troubles used, ladies and gents, as we know how difficult it was to navigate around that tiny corner map that was like, I don't know, at a certain point within the land ratio and the water ratio, it was like less than 40% for them to actually play around that factory grounds. But overall, it's been a very satisfying ride, and just like that, just with one chicken dinner, like I said earlier today, they have now surpassed the Saber to take the top spot.
Wow. That is just amazing. Again, it's a make or break situation for most of the teams here, but it is pretty obvious that those big names that we keep talking about inside a lobby are doing their best really to take the top spot here, which is, of course, all the more fun for us. The fact that these guys are really putting up a great show, that is something to look forward to for the rest of the day here. Coming in at second place, or second page rather, Alpha 7 did have a good game here. GLU moved up 1 rank as well. D plus Kia moved up 4 ranks and now at 13th place with 23 points. But as for NS Red Force, it was kind of a mishap. So they're down to... Oh, they didn't play for this round. Okay, we'll see them play later on. But yeah, just because some of the teams moved up, so that is the reason why some of them moved down the overall ranking, which makes it all the more exciting because the moment we step into game number 2 here at Contra, we will definitely see a shuffle again in the overall rankings.
That's right. We are looking at teams making a climb, and that is Rogue Warriors as well as Weibo Gaming. 7-9, they did manage to last pretty long, but they just got overwhelmed by those 2 members inside the shack from Pubg squad. So they're sitting over onto that 17th spot, are about to make it to page 2. So that is going to be all eyes on them later to see if they would be able to do that. So that concludes our very first round. Big round in for, of course, our fans that's been cheering on for Hora Esports of Nepal. Now we just get to see a deep race because on that front page, everybody is pretty much neck and neck. One victory might actually see another overtake. So we'll go on a short break. We'll give them some time and we will see you guys for the next map happening in a couple of minutes.
Vivo V50, Zeiss Portrait So Pro.
now we cut to the chase once again here in the Ruthless Hot Invitational Showdown Season 9. It's your boy here, Contra, alongside with our beautiful Red Queen, Andy, as we are going to be moving into our second map of the evening. What a ride it was as we just saw the rise of Horror Esports. With that chicken dinner, they're now at that #1 spot.
Yep, Horror Esports definitely didn't hold back. You know, they were able to knock off Vampire Esports off the leaderboard's top spot. So it was a decisive move, proving that they're not just here to compete; they're here to dominate, and that's what we love. You know, that's what we always expect coming from our favorite teams. On the other hand, I would also like to give recognition, of course, to Diklaskia, who showed incredible resilience, clawing their way to second place despite starting from a tough position there. We all saw what happened before the end zone actually concluded. So that's one of the things that I was happy about seeing during that match.
Sure enough, and overall, I think that a lot of the teams here on our screen has been able to score plenty of points throughout yesterday's run. BTR, RQ, Team Flash have always been able to hold the central region very well enough, and Horror Esports have always been playing not too far off from that area where a lot of all these circles actually end up across that said region. So plenty to actually spectate when we move into our first map of Miramar of the night, ladies and gents. So we're definitely going to see perhaps another big surprise heading into this matchup.
Yang ini coklat, rich, dark chocolate. Kalau yang ini rasanya kayak sereal coklat. Pasti Chocomal. Dark chocolate ketemu kopi. Mocha. Maudi, ahlinya outside.
No. Outside, ahlinya oatmeal.
Of course, that's always what we look forward to. But anyway, to give you guys, of course, an idea which teams are going to be playing for the game #2 in Miramar. So it's going to be Group A and Group C. So B is taking a break for now. But yes, here we go, Contra. Your Bigatron boys are definitely playing for game #2. We also got Four Thrives, the Savior, Vampire Esports, JDG, Thunder Talk Gaming, NS Red Force, and Voin Donkey. Now, I just want to put out the fact that, you know, the Savior, with their late surge yesterday, was able to get a back-to-back winner chicken dinner. So perhaps, you know, coming in for our game #2, this is the first game for them. Maybe we could get a spicy chicken dinner from them. What do you think?
I definitely do think so. And for me, I stick with the standard. Now that we have a lot of big boys in the house, we're talking about, you know, Vampire Esports, Bigatron Red Villains, or Bigatron Esports, just to keep it simple, right? Just looking at the list of names, I'm going for Vampire Esports. I think no matter the cost, Vampires, they always have big results because every battle they took inside Picado, they have won so far.
Who are you going for, production? I just want to know.
That's a secret for next
No,
time.
that's yours. That's yours. So you're going for Alpha 7. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Bigatron.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. All right, so we've got Thailand, we've got Brazil, we've got Indonesia representing the prediction lineup. How about you guys? We'd love to know about your picks, so just type it down there in the comment section, and don't forget to cheer for your favorite team, because I'm telling you, it helps.
It definitely does. And if I were to have a second pick, I would go for Four Tribes again. Four Tribes, they've shown that they are very, very strong in Miramar. You could say that they had one hiccup yesterday when they were fighting Sem 9, and that's about it. Where the rest of the maps that they play inside Miramar, I believe they've constantly secured a top 4 finish, and hence why I believe that they should be able to at least pull up very decent record. That is one team that I would suggest if you guys have no clue who exactly to vote for. Meanwhile, Alpha 7, they have definitely shown us very strong results. Even last round when they were taken out, we have actually seen them score like what 7, 8 points, eliminating teams over onto the blue zone.
Hmm.
That is definitely super impressive coming out of Alpha 7. And who knows? It might just be a streak link for the rest of these guys for esports as well if they were ever to be played.
Oh man, what a way to open day number two! I can say that was a very good match. Good performance coming from all of the teams. It's just that really it was a hard zone to begin with. We weren't expecting to have early clashes from the teams, but then again, they were forced to just because the zone really went to the east side, the far east. And there was a really need for them to clash to just claim that territory. And when you play battle royale, when you want something, you just always have to fight for it, and whoever is the best will definitely be the last team standing. And that's exactly what happened. So listen to me, are you looking okay?
Hmm.
Please don't hate, okay? Let's not be toxic down there in the comment section. We are supposed to have fun because we've got our favorite teams here playing our favorite game. So let's all just cheer for them, okay? No need to fight. There's no need to fight. We're just having fun here.
Nah, and of course, now that we got that out of the way, let's actually see which teams will be able to, climb the charts once again. Now, Horror Esports has got targets on their backs, and with the rest of the Group B or Group C poll to be back over on the course, I'm really thinking that this stacked rosters coming in from Group C is going to have major impact in this course of the battle. From what we've seen so far from day one, I think that it's not going to be all too different from what it will be offered in this matchup.
Mm. Definitely. I'm already excited to get to the desert here. I want to see a camel again. I want to see a camel.
Well, I guess that one day we can go and visit, like, I don't know, Dubai or something. That's where most of the camels are at. Well,
I've been to Dubai. I think I was able to ride a camel. It's
you think or you did?
yeah, and I'm trying to remember because it happened like maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, I think I rode a camel somewhere because we visited the sand dunes, and it was great. Dubai is a great place. I would love to come back. It's just that the cost of living there and the prices, wow, it's really expensive. But hey, the place is really great. Hopefully, we get invited to EWC. That's really I'm hoping for.
That will be an absolute dream. But of course, we continue on at least with this tournament where we have a very secure flight path from the southwest heading all the way to the direct north. This is going to be a tough one. Take a look at all these teams who need to make the stretch. And I'm starting to feel like a little slight concern for everybody out there. Is a lot of all these teams that love to move into Los Leones, Minas Gerais, or even Puerto Impala. This is going to be a long, long flight for them to actually get things done.
And the left side of the screen here says that Win is kind of maintaining his top spot here. Player with the most headshots, most eliminations, and most damage. So good thing for Team Flash. I mean, obviously they're making a statement here, making a name for themselves, right? Especially Win with the stats he's pulling off. But anyway, we're about to see some clashes happen as the teams prepare themselves to get into their favorite drop spots. I'm pretty amazed by the fact that Los Leon is kind of empty at the moment. But the Savior and Alpha 7 going head to head. Now this is some spectacle to watch.
Oh wow, Alpha 7 starting hot, and somehow every single pick that production picks today somehow gets themselves into a battle. We've seen this before where they have been trying to secure grounds over onto El Pozo. This time, it is Alpha 7 that does secure those early 2 elimination points and will be able to pick up Carillo on that skirmish.
And also coming off the kill feed, it's Lolo from a Thunder Talk. had a hit and run encounter with alter ego errors, and the car was driven by Bad Rule, ladies and gents. Ooh, pretty badass. But anyway, getting back into Team Secret, we've got Kung Gu over here with a UMP. Okay, hesitant to get inside, obviously, because he just knows someone is standing by the door. Unfortunately, he got caught with all of those bullets. Was thrown his way, and so he is out of the game. So we only looking at 3 players remaining for the side of Team Secret here, already at a disadvantage up against NS Red Force. But I wonder if NS Red Force will continue on, at that kind of pace, or will they let will they let Team Secret come at them instead?
They could actually hold back for a little bit more, but the rest of Team Secret, we last saw them actually bunch up to surprise some of these members out there. So, as it goes, we're going to be looking at the long range nade that was connected coming in from GT20 Pro. That was a Realme model, I do believe that's his name right now. But continue on with the pace, which we will see Doc now being pretty much pincered. Molotov also dropped over the corner. Frankie now trying to hold his ground while Jiki coming into a close quarter combat with only barely enough health on that micro Uzi. Still trying to push up against Tizzy. A very dangerous move, but they are still trying to make it work out.
What? Okay, GK, you're the last surviving member. Can you be the knight in shining armor for Team Secret? He's very low in HP though, so the future is kind of bleak, but it's GK we're talking about here. So for Team Secret, now Team is looking for the right opening shot, and there you go, ladies and gents. Another shotgun versus a micro Uzi, and you just know the kind of result we're gonna get if that happens, and well, voila. Micro Uzi versus a shotgun will not work out. But anyway, back to D-Savior here, ladies and gents. 2 casualties now, Levi's and Lamborghini, both out of the game here. Fight continues on up against Alpha 7. Patagene is holding onto a double-barrel shotgun over here. Let's see if he can get a player from Alpha 7. Natty T with an attack with a UMP. Unfortunately, from behind, man, that's a major backstab coming from Mafioso.
It definitely is, and right there, as we speak of it, it is going to be Alpha 7 that will come up with this clean sweep this time around.
Ouch. Man, okay. Anyway, Alpha 7 each got a point under their name, so that's a pretty nice teamwork you got there. But we are just at the beginning of the match here, so there's plenty more teams that they will have to go through before they can even touch or grab that chicken dinner. Now, getting back into NS Red Force here, ladies and gents, Bigatron Esports seems to have their eyes set on them. They're not pushing just yet. They haven't opened fire, but they're monitoring the situation. But here we go. Snape did not waste any time, though. He just Avara Kedavra. That one player coming from 4 Thrives, and that would be IQQ.
That was just really, really snappy. Where the moment that he opened up that first bullet of the chamber, he just traced it perfectly. And that just goes to show what perfect base aggression being displayed by BTR has worked out for them for most part. BTR always plays around that power grid sector, so no matter where they move, it's just going to be pretty much of a decent passage for them to be able to rotate across the map. They do expect that there's going to be a lot more teams that will be vying through this hillside, so they're paying close caution. While we are also looking at some casualties coming over around the corner map. Moving over to the side of Boeing Donkey as they're trying to scout out ahead, just by the rim of the zone. So from the looks of it, they are coming from the south side near towards the corners of Chupacera. But for most part, it's still to be absolutely clear. So this time around, other than Nongshim Red Force as well as Alpha 7 to be able to get themselves those early engagements working out, we're just going to have to wait before we get ourselves even more engagements heading down the stretch. Now, there's just plenty of all these vital space that these teams will be looking to take. And 4 Tribes is happening to be at this choke point, hoping to catch teams rotating towards their favor.
Oh man, there are quite a number of teams flocking around south of Picado and north of Chumacera, and that would be teams like Voin, Donkey, BTR, and even Fourth Tribes. And there's also quite a number of teams headed towards that same direction, coming from outside of the zone, like GLU Squad and perhaps LGD as well. But I feel like LGD are headed towards more on Los Leones, and since Los Leones is kind of a big area here in Miramar. I feel like some of the teams would definitely choose or opt to go to Los Leones at this point. Might as well get a compound to themselves, right? I mean, since it's a little in the central location of the circle here, so it's only logical to get a spot there. But of course, it all depends on the strategies of teams that we have in the lobby. Now, from the north side, I can see that NS Red Force might have a collision with Cora Esports. Alpha 7, it's pretty clear, I guess. Coast is clear for Alpha 7 to get inside from the west side of the circle here because most of the teams are already down there in the middle. I do wonder which of them are going to choose to stay in Los Leones.
Yeah, it's just going to be a really big question out there. It probably will just be a checkpoint for now, as it will further confirm that the majority of the Impala sector will be in play. Outskirts of Puerto Parsa looks very, very playable as well, and it's purely unoccupied. So that is exactly where all these teams would love to be right now.
Just look at the erratic behavior of the circle here, Contra. A while ago, there's a big part of Los Leones. Actually, it's all the... Okay, wait a minute. It's the Wild Wild West again, ladies and gents. But anyway, getting back into the circle, the point that I was making was a huge part of Los Leones was actually inside the circle, and now it had shifted over to the east side, right? And now teams are flocking over to the northern side, so I think that's most of the fight is definitely going to happen in just a while, ladies and gents. But there are a lot of teams that are still, coming from outside of the zone, like and it's Red Force and Horror Esports still. But let's check out what has happened with Alter Ego Errors. Again, we've got one of them currently knocked down on the ground, and that is the overall MVP yesterday. Ooh, Weibo Gaming, ladies and gents. Okay. Okay, they're getting picked off one by one here by Alter Ego Errors, but I feel like there's another team that would want to join into the mix as well. But still, Riggs over here, effective spray eliminating the rest of Vivo Gaming. So that is it for game number 2 for Weibo.
That is just so interesting on how they actually set things up. Riggs, I believe, is a new addition over onto the course of Alter Ego. I feel like I've seen this kid before from some time ago. Well, first we'll get back to that in a moment, where the rest of the pack are still trying to traverse through the course, which looks to be very, very dangerous to do at this moment.
Usually you will see a lot of DMRs being used when they play in Nobar, but now all I can see are like shotguns and assault rifles. Did I say that? Yeah, ARs. And also the exception of Micro Uzi, which is I feel like again it's making a comeback because I can see a lot of players using it again, but it is still no chance to like if you go up against a player who has a shotgun and you have a Micro Uzi, it's not a fair fight.
I certainly do agree. Back in the old meta, then maybe you could say there is a chance that they could still come up healthy and alive, but for the most part these days, it's just going to be all these S12Ks as well as DBS to easily clear things out. Now, the zone is going to be clearing out certain areas of play, and this is already as difficult as it could get. Only a couple of factory grounds around the stretch of the outskirts of Impala as well as city to be playable. BTR is going to hold that entry point as well as to have a 2-2 split, so their position looking to be very, very convincing. Meanwhile, the rest of these parties, this is just going to look like a very, very tough angle for everybody to try to make their way across, but they gotta get by somehow. So we'll just gotta pray for the best coming in from all these squads who still on board. We're just gonna see if BTR can actually catch a few more on the mix of all these names cutting across.
You know, this is the first time I've seen Snape play again for BTR. So this is kind of his debut for this tournament. It's a strong lineup that we can see coming from BTR. Let's see if they can actually get a chicken dinner for this game, or even if they are in the mood. Vampire Esports, we got Tony K, and we got another player named Champ. Not sure if he's part of the main lineup, or maybe he is his someone who just changed his IGN, because you guys love to make it easy for us. But so far, we don't hear that much gunshots, except of course Fourth Thrives and BTR at the moment. Boxy seems to have taken the bait, and Noki just capitalized on that. Another hit and run situation against BTR and Fourth Thrives. So I guess, yeah, Voxy already out of the game, which makes it only 3 players for the side of Bigatron.
Still a very daunting task overall. Looking at perhaps playable terrains for some areas, and Blue Squad have already noticed that there are members of Alpha 7 lying around. So Hexus, he's holding back. He's not going to try to fully expose his current position towards the rest of these members of Alpha 7. While they are pretty spread out, we are looking at the rest of Alpha 7 dropping nades after nades, trying to flush that position off of Hexus. And Tarek's about to also answer back in his own stance as well. So Alpha 7, they probably don't want to stay for far too long. Shots coming in from far across the very same time. They do connect a couple of bullets over onto the corner of Hasby, but that's pretty much about it for the taking.
I mean, Alpha 7, they don't really have a choice but to engage with GLU, because again, they're coming from outside of the zone here, so there's really that pressure onto the side of Alpha 7. They are dealing with not just GLU, but also Voindunky, so it's a 3-way battle, and it's a divide and conquer tactic coming from Alpha 7 here, but it will be, it's difficult to pull off. I mean, if we're going to be honest here, since, Voindunky is also there to kind of gatekeep the situation, and there's also LGD that we can see on the screen here. So this part of town will definitely be chaotic.
Definitely, and I've just got that glimpse of the mini map as well. I mean, I didn't pop my own map stream. I just wanted to see things unfold. And JDG, they're on the hillside of Impala. They will have a really good game, while we are still focused onto the side of Blue Squad. This nade's looking pretty good, but not enough to take down Carrillo from that position forward. Shots now being fired back as we are looking at Squash Fu trying to hold down the line. More damage to be done towards the side of KF. Ooh. It's just beautiful coming from XKF, and just like that, 2 members shut down, and that is a big instant regret coming out of Alpha 7. And just like that, he's also looking for Revo, the last member, over onto that corner. If he could just hold still and not be able to be spotted out, perhaps turn this one around, and now pretty much back to exposed. Everywhere he goes, he's just gonna be peppered to Mafioso. He's got to run out of the situation.
It's as easy as ABC for SKF27 here. I mean, I believe he bagged most of the elimination points there. I mean, this guy with the nades that he's been throwing, it's so accurate. He becomes too dangerous in the battlefield. And now Voindunky is, of course, dealing with the remaining players of GLU over here. Situations have been flipped, because a while ago they were the ones really doing the gatekeeping up against Alpha 7, but since the circle moved again, they will have to get into battle with either Voindunky or LGD. But since Voindunky already suffered great losses here, we're looking at their last remaining player, which is of course Razak, and I'm not even sure if he's gonna survive this one. I mean, he headed towards Vampire Esports, who is also having an altercation with Fourth Thrive. So what are the chances?
We've seen these two go at it before, and just like that, the rest of these 4 tribes members just trying to kill one, but it will be Fallout that got taken down from the vehicle. So unfortunate. Out of all the members, that is one of their heavy hitters off the list.
Now, what exactly will they actually work with this time around? I'm not really uncertain as to how they will be able to just go wrap around any form of the quarter. But for Ossel, he's just trying to squeeze past some of these members of Vampire Esports, but he understands that they've been sitting around Apple City. They're just gonna wait until they are a little bit too eager to just pop their heads wide open for the picking. So Mafioso dropping really low. Tarek is closing right in. He's the last member of A7, and 4 points now added to the tally for Glue on that side.
GLU is doing great, I can say. It's just so unfortunate though because they just came off from a fight and now they're dealing with Vampire Esports and that is of course the main reason why they will not make it to stage 5. It's a domination coming from the Vampire Esports. A total of 5 elimination points, but still, you know, quite a good performance coming from GLU before they exited the game. They were able to set up 4 elimination points for themselves. And now, ladies and gents, we got LGD, Vampire Esports, as well as another player coming from D plus Kia here, are all down south here. I'm just not sure if D plus Kia would love to join into the mix here, while Vampire is having a conflict up against LGD. But just look at that, Camel goes down hard. That was a nice shot coming from LGD. Tony K goes down as well. LGD seems to be doing just fine. And here comes Anzana up against a D plus Kia.
Wow!
From afar, man, that was such a a good long range shot from D plus Kia.
They were absolutely locked in. They were looking at the targets of Vampire Esports for the longest time, and I feel like Vampire Esports just got a little bit too feisty and they were overzealous to extend over onto the open stretch. But then again, we know how difficult it was with the zone closing into this direction as well. So not many options available. Vampire Esports, they at least secured themselves 5 points to the out for esports so far, despite not really getting too much out of the battles just yet. They're about to close in up against LGD. Here comes the push coming in from Sleepy. He's got the nade in hand. He just have to really drop it directly towards the shack, but he's checking the smokes first and foremost. Seems to be clear. 10 now picking up links. And we're looking at this spread coming out of LGD, looking to be pretty interesting as they have had some impact to be able to tackle onto no fear. But Jiggle, he drops that big nade. He will find it in return to knock down links.
Horror Esports doing a great job gatekeeping, applying a lot of pressure onto the side of LGD. Oh man, Jiggle receiving some damage as well from his prey out there somewhere, but an effective kill though coming from No Fear. Horror Esports right now applying a lot of pressure again up to for LGD here, definitely going for a pinch. Here comes Stevie again with another nade attack. And Tian, oh man, he's quite exposed behind. And Horror Esports can capitalize on that one. Here comes Jiggle, trying to dance it off with another player coming from LGD. And that is it, guys. LGD just got erased from Miramar map, courtesy of Horror Esports.
That is just super smooth takedowns coming out of Horror. They slowly single out their targets. They knew what exactly needs to be done since that there is that widespread coming from LGD. Though LGD initially had a certain good idea, but they require at least a knock in order to turn things around. But Horror Esports just proves that they are way faster and they are 2 steps ahead. Now, the entire south side is cleared up. Where exactly does Horror Esports move from Kira? Because the zone is about to close. Stage 6 is going to be pretty interesting because it could shift up and towards the city side of Impala, where PTR is currently at. But take a look at that. Fabian as well as DK. They're split 50-50. They're looking to see whether if they will need to book the exact center or just go in for a big wraparound. Seems like they will just extend towards the stretch, dominate the western end, and just wait till further notice. But for esports, they gotta make it quick because right now, if they wait any longer, there's barely gonna be enough room for them to play out.
Okay, so I do love the fact that you can already fix your vehicles, right? Especially in Miramar, you know how crucial it is to have vehicles for your mobility. It'll definitely help you to go from point A to point B, and also it can serve as your cover just in case push comes to shove and you don't have anything to use for cover. Then your vehicles can actually be a good one. But anyway, here comes Horror Esports and D plus Kia fight. I mean, we've seen this coming. We've already anticipated this to happen. Now, D plus Kia attacking Horror Esports. We've got Chips with 80% health here. Fabian still cooking up a nade to try to keep Horror Esports at bay here, but Sleepy ain't slipping at all. He inflicts a lot of damage up against Ozone here of D plus Kia. Now he's going for a massive crate up against another one and was able to shut down at least one out. He's coming from Ozone, so it's 2 for 2 for Horror Esports.
And Fabian is barely getting enough cover, but he's turning back. Oh, down to 1v1 and they go down. No full saves at all. 2 members knocked down, and even you still have no fear over on the back to be able to cover ground. So, interesting move because these 2 teams, they were not supposed to meet each other because D plus Kia pushed towards the south side. They kind of rock up the wrong side, and just like that, Horror Esports says, "Come at me, bro. I mean, I can fight all day long." You saw what went down. 2 members, they still close the chicken there. You want to try again? Yep, we're gonna deliver exactly the same results.
D plus Kia, I feel like they went to the south because they have no place to go. If
they actually do have a lot of place to go.
Yeah,
like,
but it's
there was a gas
ground.
station. There was a gas station that was open for them.
Oh wow, maybe. But yeah. Anyway, it's just so unfortunate for D plus Kia and so aggressive on the side of Horror Esports. Now we're definitely going to see battles happen around Impala area. I mean, JD obviously holding into a high ground advantage here. They're over at the mountains. BT are close with Alter Ego Eras, NS Red Force, and 2 players of Thunder Talk Gaming. But Thunder Talk have been passive, from the get-go. They haven't really... I haven't really seen them play or have an altercation with any of the teams just yet. But probably I feel like they're going to wait it out just because they're down to just 2 players. And I think the best thing to happen right now is for BTR to go up against Alter Ego Eris, which I believe will also be like a 3-way fight because NS Red Force is also just within the area.
It's not going to be an easy task because Badger is also having a long-range attack potential up against BTR if they ever push out. What has been pretty interesting, other than Thunder Talk being a little bit passive, is just that JTG, they were on the hillside for the longest time. They have yet to really strike down many of all these targets out there. For esports, find themselves an advantage to move into the open ground, but that is going to be very risky because there's still plenty of teams inside the city. Now, the onus is on NS Red Force to be leaving that area of the city, so they will have to push Alter Ego and BTR at the same time.
Exactly, yeah. And you know what I feel like? With this kind of energy we're feeling from Horror Esports, it's not impossible at all, for them to score a back-to-back winner-winner chicken dinner. But then again, they will still have to go through a lot of teams like Alter Ego Eras and BTR. But since we are also witnessing like kind of a 3-way fight happen between NS, Alter Ego Eras, and BTR, probably they'll also just wait it out up until at least one team is eliminated. They could take over a building there, maybe a building where Badger is currently staying at. But of course, it all depends on like what the outcome would be from that 3-way battle that we speak of.
And just like that, they're going on an absolute rampage as the entire Thunder Talk members have been shredded out. Alter Ego are the ones that did not set up the ambush up against the rest of BTR as they were trying to force their way out there. It's going to be up to Snape to actually go in for rescue. It's only going to be Federalis that's going to be alive once he does get that pickup. Pablo now having another situation where Riggs got knocked down from afar, so good going for the side of Nongshim Red Force, while JDG, they have finally made their descent and are about to partake in some of all these battles. Sky knows that BTR is going to be exactly around that corner, and here comes the push coming out of Badru, and it's Sky that's actually shooting upon them.
Okay, that was very risky for the side of Alter Ego Eras, but of course you need all the manpower that you could get just to make sure that you get a good placement from this match. Now we've got TZ cooking up a nade. He could potentially shut down, all the boys from Alter Ego Eras if, you know, his nade is on point, but that is still a big question mark right there. VTR, we've got Snape and Federalis tandem. Can be hard to get that winner chicken dinner just because they don't have the numbers as well. But let's see what's going to happen. JD, I believe, this is working out for them since they do have that high ground advantage. But then again, the downside of it is that they're exposed. They don't have any cover to protect themselves with, so it makes it easier for other teams to kind of target them, especially for Horror Esports. Man, I mean, we can see that someone is on prone and just like easy for him to shut down JD from that point. And here comes Sleepy now, just moving closer and closer to JD. But oh man, Snape! The defense against the dark arts professor was able to shut him down.
Yeah, as they try to make their climb upwards, they are still going on an attempt while JDG has to put on the offenses as he tries to surf his way around. He's having a tough time controlling that DPS. Instead, switch over to Scar L to get things done. JDG holding their fortress, but this is still not quite done just yet. There is still Jiggle. Let's go over on the low ground. And BTR knows exactly what's happening over on the other quarter, so they are going to be looking to at least push outwards if they could. Nate's now being cooked right in. Not able to hit the mark as he's hoping to connect over on the other side, but they're on the lower ridge. Meanwhile, inside the city, out there, Ego 2 members pinned down. BTR, they're slowly making their advancement, slowly pinning out Badru, so he has to do it all alone. It's going to be Cell QZQ that does find it in return. So there goes. Majority of Outer Ego barely having enough space. Can Snape pull the miracle run here for BTR?
BTR, I can say that it's definitely a good spot for them. But since we're down to just last player, let's see if they can still pull it off. But ooh, great nade again coming from Snape, eliminating Badru. If Horror Esports is successful in eliminating players from JD and they get the high ground advantage, then there's a big chance for them to get that back-to-back winner chicken that we were talking about just a while ago. And now we're down to two. We're down to two. Okay, so JD versus Horror Esports this time. And I guess they should just wait it out. I mean, the contingency plan definitely would be Sky, right? I mean, Jiggle, no fear. They're the ones pushing, doing all the hard work here. And Sky definitely will provide some support here. But, whew, man, this is a tight one.
It definitely is. Barely enough room for the side of JDG. Now they try to push through. It's looking for Jiggle, but not quite enough. They run into two members before Esports, and just like that, the back-to-back win is here for the Purple Hearts. Horror Esports here, dominating throughout their run in day 2.
Oh my goodness. They're walking inside the lobby right now, banging on their chest. Back-to-back winner chicken dinner for the Purple Hearts here, ladies and gents. I just know that you guys are going crazy right down there in the comment section, so might as well cheer for them, because man, it was a tough one. It was a tight competition for game number 2, but still Horror Esports emerged victorious from the clash.
My, how many fights does it take for Horror Esports to go down? Apparently nobody has been able to contest them on a direct duel. You saw what happened to D plus Kia, you saw what happened to those members of JDG, and many more. And just like that, they have crushed the competition. And this is just more than what it seemed to be, because they have secured about close to 15 points in terms of eliminations. And look at the damage numbers. Everybody was involved in every altercation.
Honestly, it was great zone control. It was great pacing as well. All the decisions, it was perfect, for Horror Esports. The rotations, everything worked out to them. It was a pretty hard task. The way that they were trying to flush out JD from the high ground, it was it was a 50-50% chance. It was definitely high risk, but they were able to pull it off. And, it is a much deserving win for the side of Horror Esports. They really worked hard for it.
Exactly. And I want to say that one of the most pivotal points how they actually win out the trade is that they have this 2-2 split after winning out against D plus Kia. You saw Sky was extending into the city to see if they could just catch anybody rotating outwards. So that actually see the entirety of Pora to get another clean 4 points up against Thundertalk, and then go up against Nongshim Reinforce, Alter Ego, and BTR at the same time. While the other two members, they were trying to force their way up the hillside because they know that JDG is up there. If they can just hustle them just about enough, then they could take that position away. And JDG, they have to suddenly play defensively despite them actually getting that high ground advantage. And just like that, Horror Esports just shut down everybody completely in this match.
It was also like a good play coming from BTR, especially when the circle shifted again, and there was just like a portion of the building where they were staying at. I feel like if they have more firepower, then they could pull off a chicken dinner, because JD as well as Horror Esports, I mean, their position is quite exposed, to be honest. It's just that during the last few zones of the game, BTR, they were playing with only 2 of their members, and then another one got taken out of the equation, and then it was all Badru, right? But he had an exchange of nades up against who was it again? Was it Badru? Another player from Alter Ego eras. And again, I think like if they do have enough members, they could pull it off. But then again, it was really a hard hard situation between JD and Horror Esports, the battle to get that high ground advantage. So you just have to really give that much kudos to Horror Esports.
Yeah, Sky especially, because he really took charge of the fight. That extension towards Thundertalk, and then after that, even finding more in return. And even then down towards the final stretch, he can actually sit back and allow Jiggle to also get into the mix of the battle while he also supports from the back, which is why we are looking at this team to be so versatile on how they actually tag onto all the other teams out there. So super impressive. Sky is absolutely deserving for him to actually secure the top spot. 23 points. That is just about close as 10 above Alter Ego Ares. While JD Gaming, this has been their biggest round so far. So we are seeing the climb coming in from the team hailing from China. So lovely to actually see it, including improvements coming out of D plus Kia, Nongshim Red Force, and LGD.
I do wonder, with this kind of statistics coming from Horror Esports, if they're successful enough to dethrone Win from a Team Clash with the most knockouts, most damage, and most elimination points. Because, man, I mean, it's a back-to-back winner in a chicken dinner, and they've amassed quite a number of elimination points here. Sky, worked hard, to get those numbers up, and we'll see probably later on if that will happen. But match statistics, okay, it's a great number that I'm seeing on the screen. It's 189. I mean, great improvement, I can say. 3 airdrops looted, so teams are like pushing more for greater risks. 385 longest elimination distance coming from Fabian, and I think I saw this one happen just moments ago. I think it was an off-angle situation, but we all know what D plus Kia can actually bring into the table. And right now, Horror Esports at the top spot with 82 points. Man, that is, I can say, the start of something good, for Horror Esports. If they can continue this pace, man, there's no doubt that they can build a solid foundation, to maintain their top spot for day number 2.
Absolutely. And when we take a look at the rest of the pack, because of this double chicken dinner, it makes things harder to do for BTR, D-Saber, as well as Vampire Esports. We see BTR surviving a little bit longer as they overtake D-Saber. We will definitely get an update after the next match, where we are looking at the middle pack actually climbing up. 87 at another 5 points to the tally, moving 1 spot up together with Blue. Meanwhile, ASI wasn't entirely involved in this Miramar run, so of course, no point game, they are sliding down. but that allowed D plus Kia 4 tries still to have certain movements around 4 tries. Unfortunate for them, didn't really actually score all too much, while the rest of the party are still finding it a little tough. But JDG, that was a big round. That is the 10 points that they finally acquired. The first double-digit run for JDG.
The best round yet. Okay, I would love to see more action coming from JDG. I mean, that was a solid one. You know, if they can continue also playing with that kind of energy, and then I mean, there's no doubt that they can definitely climb up ranks. But as for the rest of the PL teams, and of course A1 Aero, who did not play for this round, they did not play for this round. Did they play for this round? No, I don't think so. They're still at the bottom of the leaderboard, but of course everything can still change. You know, it's still anybody's ball game, but not if like you can again build your foundation for day number 2, because come day number 3, that is when the real battle begins. You know, like the tug of war when it comes to the top spot, which is of course the only goal that you should have, right? I mean, if it's not in your goal to be at the top spot, then what are you doing in the tournament? But anyway, we'll talk more about the action that just happened, ladies and gents. We'll be taking just a short break, so please don't go away. What an exhilarating game number 2 that was, ladies and gents. And of course, we are looking out for some more action coming from these amazing teams. And again, welcome back to the Rootless Invitational Showdown. My name is Red Queen, together with Contra, and we are still your amazing and favorite casters for this spectacular show.
Yeah, and of course, that's for you guys out there to judge. And of course, you can show us a little bit of love throughout the run, as we are going to be having a long night up ahead. But so far, it's been super exciting to actually witness all the teams really have a go at it. And Horror Esports fans rejoice. They are on a teardown to really rip the competition apart with that double chicken dinner. And perhaps they were looking at some of these guys coming in from D-Savers like, huh, you guys got 2 chicken dinners? We can do exactly that. So just over on to these 2 matches, we are looking at them surpassing everybody else on the block. Now we'll go back into Wrangle where the top performers of the single Savers that are as well as for Practical Vibes. Not too surprising from the looks of it, and I'm just looking to see if there's going to be even more for these guys to actually push up against. It's also been one of the best performing teams as they are definitely having some of the high ratios of average rankings.
Exactly, but for this round, I guess, yeah, we're jumping back into Irango, but Group A will not be playing for this round, so Horror Esports will be taking a break from all that chicken that they caught so far, so they're having a festivity right now with those chicken dinners. So we're looking at Groups B and C here, ladies and gents, and of course we will welcome back to the game for American Vibes, ASI, Tiamba, RW, A1 Arrow, Sem9, RQ, and of course, Team Flash here, ladies and gents. And as early as now, I'm already thinking, okay, which team am I going to pick for my prediction? Which is, of course, making my head ache. But it's something that we need to do. Okay, B and C.
I think that I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward. I look at Team Flash and they have been looking very, very feisty. I think they are definitely really, really strong when it comes down to battles, but I want to see them go to the finish line because we haven't really seen Team Flash really banking up a big win so far, so I'm rooting for them.
Okay, I see that. Okay, I get you. I'm choosing between I Hate You Production. I'm still making my intro, but okay, you can get 4 Miracle Vibes. Okay, so now that you've already closed the 4 Miracle Vibes, I'm thinking whether I go for Fourth Tribes or Vampire Esports. I can feel. Let's go for Fourth Tribes. Fourth Tribes, it is.
Okay, let's go for it. Now, very, very interesting as we're hoping that we're going to be able to see a lot of all these teams keep up to the pacing of Horror Esports as they by far have been the best performing team so far for today. So I'm just eager to actually see if they could once again do exactly the same.
You know what? Let's take it from the Purple Hearts, ladies and gents. They have been spamming the comment section with a lot of Purple Hearts, right? So you just know that it's a positive energy. And, you know, I think that's what we need to do, right? If you want our teams to win, just, you know, like send them good, positive energy, cheer for them, you know, and maybe tag them in the comment section that, hey, we're rooting for you. We want you guys to get that winner chicken dinner, you know, do a little fan service for the audience. Of course, we are looking at how many viewers do we have on the stream? 7,622. So big shout out to you guys. You are the reason why we are trying to keep the energy alive, and because we want you guys to have a very good show.
Yeah, of course, we will definitely have been having such a blast here in this Ruthless Invitational Showdown. We're just eager to actually continue on with the ride. We're not even halfway past the finish line just yet. So here in day 2, the teams are absolutely setting the pace. When you take a look at just some of all these results as well, we have seen improvements from the troubles being used. So you know that they absolutely mean serious business.
You know, I feel like the coffee is kicking in.
I can tell. I mean, I'm chilling. I'm having myself like lemon tea, apple cider. That's kind of it. I mean, I'm having a really splendid time so far. Just spending time with all you guys here, and just looking at all the names out there on the list, I feel like there's just going to be a big factor that comes into play. I mean, Team Flash, hard hitters. Vampire Esports, I don't know if they're stagnating or what, but it definitely seems like it's a little bit of a slow ride where they have been challenged inside Miramar. But when they move into Erangel, their place is uncontested. So maybe Vampire Esports will once again get back into their winning ways.
Slow ride, take it easy. Okay, that's probably the song playing right now for Four Miracle Vibes. But you know what, ladies and gents, of course, probably, again, it's a make or break. If you have like one good game, that could make all the difference, right? And it's the same thing. If you've had like one bad game, then that could mean that you can get pushed further down the ranks. So we'll just have to wait until this team decides to pop off. Right now that we are heading back, of course, to the OG map, that is Erangel, we'll be checking out if our team predictions will definitely get those WWCVs that we want them to get. But in the meantime, since you guys are having a lot of fun down there in the comment section, again, I just would want to push you guys to just make a lot of noise. Make sure that you cheer for your favorite teams and your favorite players. Perhaps your energy could be the one to make a difference, for the whole team.
Well, if there's gonna be any form of noise, it's just gonna be clickety clack on those keyboards. That's just about good enough. I mean, of course, you guys know the drills for your favorite team out there. Very similar like path as we have seen this in the previous round before. Cut from the corners of shooting range, headed into Nostrum military base. So, for Miracle Vibes, if they're going to be in play, it is going to be a very direct passage into the islands. Now, looking into the situation over on to the course of the center, it is going to be a challenge already coming in for ASI8. It seems like they don't get a break at all. While who exactly are they going up against? It looks like Vampire Esports to me. Right, Lord, just be JDG.
Maybe, but there ain't no rest for the wicked. Okay, here we go. Let's get back into action here, ladies and gents. One of them is currently knocked down on the ground, though, so... ooh, man. Okay, great counter coming from ASI here. ZZ is down on his knees, probably praying. Let's see what Baby is gonna do in this situation. Just a while ago, it's the same place in Erangel where they had an altercation, and obviously ASI lost to Rogue Warriors, so perhaps they can make a difference, for this second round here. So far so good, for the side of ASI8. I think it's a fair fight since both the teams lost, not really lost, but both of the teams are suffering kind of a one member knockdown. So we're waiting like which of them is going to do a reset first.
Looking at the current standpoint, it seems like ASI should be able to do so. The rest of Rogue Warriors doesn't seem like they do have enough resources to go in for a full reset. Talking about corners of the wall as Huzaifa is holding them back. Got the pump shotgun with them though, and we're looking at Crypto from the high ground. Wow, cheeky angles to work with coming in from our dear baby. I wonder why exactly he calls himself a baby. I mean, he's full grown up as we have definitely seen him thrive in his element. But of course, not judging at all. The man should have his reasons.
Crypto doing crypto things. There you go. Coming off the kill feed, though, it's Tiamba versus Four Miracle Vibes, and it seems to me like Tops has had an early elimination. Same thing goes with Rifu, so I don't exactly know what is happening. But anyway, oh, that was a great flashbang right there. And both the teams again has suffered a one member knockdown. And Casanova, I think that was it. That's a confirmation we are waiting for. Is currently out of the game now. And also Baby kind of responded with a harsh takedown as well.
Sure enough, and right now it's just a little bit of a standstill coming out of these members of Rogue Warriors. They know that their backs are up against the wall. This battle inside of Severny has yet to be settled. Last time that we've seen them fight was literally the moment we start off day 2, and it has been rather back and forth overall. And Rogue Warriors, they always almost close up the situation, but this time finding it a lot more difficult to do. The rest of ASI activates once more to go in for the push. Now it's down to Husaifa, and it seems like they will have one member pinned down. And the coast isn't exactly clear. They're pretty much flooded from all angles, so they will have to let it go.
Oh well. Whew. 8K for a long range fight, man. That is a hard gun to control, to be honest. You know, if I would go for a long range shot with a 7 ammo, I would go for a DP. That's actually a much easier gun to control. But anyway, XL doesn't have any choice but to cross the street now. But two of the members of ASI is just waiting for him to expose himself, and he's been getting a lot of damage. Now he is on prone. Just right behind that vehicle over there. But Baby definitely will be asking his teammates to go for the push here. And here we go, just waiting for the kill coming from UZM using that shotgun, but he's having a hard time since they're playing Ring Around the Rosie here. And what a shot coming from XL, ladies and gents! Another one bites the dozen. Now we are seeing a dance-off happen. It's just so good that Baby was able to get the job done.
My, what on earth are we looking at for the moment? As we're also having For Miracle Vibes just dropping those bombshells onto Tianba. And just like that, it's just gonna be Sky on the ground. Well, it's still gonna take a while before Baron spawns out the rest of them, but damage has been done already. Falak also finding something. This early game sees so much altercation all around the map, it seems.
Hey, we got a first grenade elimination coming from Baron of For Miracle Vibes. Nice to see Baron play for game number or day number 2 of the grand finals. Okay, 4 thrives, 2 elimination points. And okay, they're going up against Sem9. Sem9 a while ago, or in the previous Erangel, didn't exactly have a great game. So this could be their redemption, just in case they would want to improve, of course, their status in the overall rankings. But as for A1, again, that was it. 1 elimination point for the team. Now, again, all we see from A1 is a kind of a passive gameplay, but I'm pretty sure that this is not at all their overall tactic when it comes to the official tournaments, right? So again, maybe it's all part of the grand plan to not expose, what secret weapon they have, in the, for them to prepare for the global scene, or maybe in other official tournaments. But yeah, hopefully, we see some explosive gameplay from A1 today. But Tianba, okay, 1 casualty, 2 points. They're attacking the blue as of the moment because military base is already slowly devoured by the Blue Reaper. We also got Sem9, Vampire Esports, and 4 thrives around Ferry Pier area, but there's already a need for them to move at this point because, well, it's not difficult just yet, because this is just stage 1. But again, I mean, you don't want to be late when it comes to getting inside the circle.
But judging from the situation from the majority of these teams, we've seen them just go hammering down onto teams whenever they are being challenged in the early spam phase, because they can afford to. Phase 1 probably wouldn't hurt all too much, which is why For Miracle Vibe says it's nothing unusual because they've always played inside the island one way or another. Sometimes you gotta even wait until end of phase 2 to actually make that rotation. So it's just gonna be a normal deal. But DX versus RRQ, a full rupture fight with Nugget over on the outskirts to be able to tack one down. But in the meantime, the Pekko has already been taken out by Paragon. Miller needs to be sent towards Swabel, and Nate T is on the hunt. That exchange sees Razak coming for a flag. Boing Donkey is also involved to help their brothers from Indonesia. And just like that, D-Saber slowly crumbling. Now it's down to Nate T.
Boing Donkey definitely saw an opportunity there to take one player down coming from D-Savior. What a third party getting into the mix here. Now Boing Donkey again seizing the day, eliminating the remaining boys of D-Savior. And wow, what a way to exit the game. Oh, wasn't able to put any numbers onto the scoreboard there, which is of course another unusual gameplay coming from the Vampire Esports team. And of course the fight is not over just yet. RQ's not out of the woods just yet, just because Boing Donkey has been doing an effective third-party thing, and it's a critical situation for the side of RQ since obviously Boinducky has the upper hand advantage over this one. But what a showdown we are seeing coming from both of the teams here. Vector or Extra here trying to defend himself effectively well. And now they have gotten all the points here up against RQ.
That's a perfect third-party action coming from the rest of Boinducky. Meanwhile, Team Flash, they are also closing in up against the members of JDG, climbing upwards, already securing all those 4-pointers up against other squads out there. They are still on the hunt. On the course of Yasau Pollyanna, this has been their home ground, and they're unhappy with the arrival of the PC side. Quickly as it goes, tops with the jump shot. Ridiculous work on the UMP. Just like that, secures one.
What a monstrous start, though, for the side of Team Flash. And maybe you're right here. You're onto something here, Contra. But JD Gaming, okay, despite the fact that they've had quite a good start during the Miramar match, it's an early elimination for them. For them in this game. Stage 2, and we already have like a number of teams already taken out of the game here. We got D Savior, RQ. We also got Sem9, JD. A1 and Rogue Warrior, so it's a wild fight that we are seeing right now here in Erangel. As for BTR, they're already in the circle, in the middle to be exact, pretty close with Voinducky and its Red Force, ASI, and Thunder Talk. So Thunder Talk, they are at the edge of the circle here, so they have a chance to do a gatekeeping situation up against Team Flash. But checking out what Red Force or NS Red Force is doing at the moment, of course, they are doing a great job so far, trying to keep BTR at bay. And there's need for having for BTR to get into that compound because that's one of the prime spots, I guess.
Definitely, and BTR, they held the high ground. They understand that they are susceptible to whatever gang is out there, and just like that, the rest of these players are able to at least hold them down for a little bit longer. So, not too much of a hustle as we are looking at TZ to be able to recuperate with the rest of Nongshim Red Force. Still going to be able to at least hold on for the meantime. You can definitely see why BTR wants that location, because that is one of the very few compounds just right below shooting range, where Voinducky is also around that vicinity. Vampire Esports are rotating across the riverside, and they're about to join in the party. It's going to be a big rupture out there. Plenty more teams over on the blue zone trying to make their cut right there. And as a matter of fact, that's a total of 4. We expected for Medical Vibes moving slow, but they've already lost 2 members in the process.
The Blue Ripper took another soul from Tiamba. Okay. Not exactly sure what is happening with Tiamba at the moment, but Yuans was the one who actually got sent back to the lobby, not by any player, but actually the blue zone. For Miracle Vibes, still over to the west bridge here, coming off of Military Sosnovka base. Alright, that is right. Okay, military base. Circle shifted again, and there goes another one. Man, okay. Mighty from Tiamba just kind of gave up.
Oh, interesting enough. I wasn't really expecting that, but understandably, some areas are really hard to actually traverse upon, so better luck next time, I guess. But for Huzaifa, he's now towards the side of BTR. Very big run, but somehow Snape, he crashes over onto them both and just shuts them off completely with the shotgun shells pummeled to their face.
That was a bold move right there, man. Okay, so back to BTR here. They're coming after Baby. Can he pull up a win here? Oh man, tried to dance off against Federales, and Baby just got served.
Yeah, I just feel for the rest of these members of ASI8. I mean, that push was supposed to at least take out Snape, but it didn't really happen. And I don't know how Snape does it, but he just single-handedly delivered everything back to the side of BTR while the nades fly right in. Nongshim Red Force infiltrates the compound where Boinducky has been able to overwhelm members of RRQ prior to this.
Man.
And swarming right through, here comes Vaxi. This is where we find Boinducky to play so much more aggressive than the day before. It's gonna be Doxy right on the low ground to try to see if they can change anything at all. But that is a perfect nade. Now, only Team 2 left. He's just leaping right off the building. And I guess he just fell flat.
It was a great trap set up by Boy Donkey. Obviously, that was an easy, convincing win from the Indonesians right there. I mean, and his Red Force just took the bait. It was easy for them to kind of just throw a lot of nades, try flush them out. They were obviously disoriented and they were caught off guard in that situation. And again, you have to take every opportunity. If you do have the advantage, you gotta seize the day, and that's exactly what Void Donkey did during that match. For Miracle Vibes, however, exited the game with only 1 point, so we haven't seen like a great performance just yet coming from for Miracle Vibes. Bigatron, however, okay, they do have 4 elimination points under their belts. And you know, it was a fast one, to be honest. I mean, we're looking at our final 5 teams here. Boy Donkey being at the top spot here, but I feel like, you know, the gap isn't that wide compared to BTR. I guess they're the 2 teams here that has the best chance of getting that chicken dinner. But of course, you know, you shouldn't um, look down on Team Flash, Vampire Esports, and even Thunder Talk Gaming. I mean, Team Flash, it was a fiery start for them. Vampire Esports, we've seen this guys really become the apex predators that they can inside the game. So we shouldn't just, you know, like take them out of the equation just yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking anyone out of the equation at all, but when we take a look at the entirety of the course right now, it is an even fight, especially we're only at stage 4. These teams are actually battling so hard in the early game, to the point that it's just so difficult for everybody else out there to really get much done. So, I don't know, it's going to take a while before we actually wrap this one up, since stage 4 still covers so much ground. We're not really expecting too many of all these big fights to erupt just yet. So, we shall actually wait and see till we have more things on our screen, where Point Donkey so far have been the most impressive in terms of improvements out of the many attack from that third party and the defense that they held up against those members of Nongshim Red Force. They get spotted out, but quickly as they go, they move deeper into the crash site. So you're a little bit more cover to work with. Vampire Esports, they're on the hunt. They know that they're going to be walking right into that location. That this is not going to be the easiest place to defend, but at least there's decent enough cover for Point Donkey to work with.
And this is the part when it gets very exciting for us. It's the critical moments, you know, for the 5 teams remaining here inside the game. You can see the Camel is just going off, you know, berserk up against Point Donkey here, but we just have to consider the distance, right? It's a bit too far, you know, to shot anyone down. Bigatron, we got Boxy. Whew, man, okay. Massive spray, but not exactly sure if he was able to take a point there. But Win is currently knocked down on the ground, and Federal is looking to seal the deal, and he was able to do that with his car. Just look at that. Very badass. 5 elimination points now for the side of BTR, currently dominating the space here. Razak, very low in HP though, but just look at the number of elimination points set up by Boy Donkey. It's a total of 11.
Yeah, they've been winning fights after fights, and BTR just crashes them right through. And Razak has got no chance whatsoever. That is how you flush players off. BTR dominating the entirety of the top 12. Potato tries to actually fend them off. This is a position that I was telling you about, where Crash Site, it looks like it has cover, but there's only a few walls or whatever the plate offers you to keep yourself pretty much under cover. Other than that, it's not exactly the best spot possible, which is why Void Donkey was so susceptible to attacks coming in from Void VPE, and now loses 2 against the likes of BTR as well. Team Flash somehow got withered down, while they're about to bow out because there's nades after nades. I don't know how he's going to get it out alive, but he is just hiding out here inside the hovercraft, and just the guy goes in for the exchange. He's actually raising that nades his own teammate. And oopsie daisy. That actually is a little bit of fumble coming from BTR, as Snake kind of taken out his own by overfragging.
Yeah, they're probably just laughing it off. It was a mishap, yes, with friendly fire from the side of BTR, but that puts them at second place here. In terms of like who will get the winner with chicken dinner. Now, Tony K going crazy as well with that spray. But he just missed his opportunity to put down a player from the side of Donkey. But of course, the fight is not over just yet, right? Vampire Esports right now has the best chance of getting that WWCD. But 11 elimination points for Donkey, man. Okay, this is a great way to say hello to the fans out there. Donkey is back, baby.
Absolutely, and just looking at the current teams so far, it's just purely out of all the finest of PMSL Southeast Asia. So that's it. Tony K still on board. You know the kind of damage this gentleman can do, alongside with Schweppes, who's looking for their flank. Potato's position is going to be really hard to be spotted by any of these members of Vampire Esports. So I think he really have to defend Exter over onto the outskirts because he's being approached by Camel already. That's one Camel I don't want to ride. Fun fact. Then speaking of which, oh, they're looking for Camel instead. So Exter, he at least has some piece to go for a trade with him. Tony K, baby. Potato goes down, but quickly traded back by Exter.
Okay, alright. This is a really interesting exchange coming from Donkey and Vampire Esports. Now we've got Exter right here cooking up a nade himself. Is trying to put down players from Vampire Esports. Tony K still low in HP here. I mean, obviously Donkey is not letting Vampire Esports to do a reset here to recuperate from this situation, and that's exactly what he needs to do to really maintain their lead at the moment. But BTR is not joining into the mix just yet, but it'll be easy for BTR to kind of annihilate not just one team but both of these teams.
Yeah, they know that they're pretty much all bunched up all together, so BTR, all they really have to do is just swarm right through and absolutely run the competition. Is all down to Schweppes right now on the outskirts. And this Camel definitely looking to be a little bit thirsty, running out. And that is going to be the first contact, moving right in. Just like that, Boxy secures a winner chicken dinner for Bigatron Esports.
Is this their second chicken dinner of the night? You man, these boys are cooking. All right, of course, this is the kind of action that we expect coming from Bigatron Esports. Right? I mean, they do have this mission to dominate not just in the local scene, but in the global scene as well. So again, this is a fiery setup or lineup, a roster that we are seeing from Bigatron Esports. And again, we just have to say that even without Luxy and Zuxi, the Tachibana twins, the legacy of Bigatron Esports, I mean, we do have to admit that it's kind of a big shoes to fill, but so far so good. I'm loving this lineup. Bigatron showing right now that they are still a formidable team to watch out for.
Fair enough, and overall, I definitely do love the new look as we can trust in Coach Ken to really set a perfect team. Now, looking at the current standpoint, where BTR has been feeling such a young roster, of course, that includes Federalis, who got bombarded of his own teammates. It wasn't exactly flawless, but hey, I guess at least the kill is still in their hands, like something that they can just easily go for a quick fix when it comes down to going for more of all these erratic fights. But that said, we're going to see whether or not all the other teams can be able to catch up to speed. BTR now races up against the rest of the members of Kora Esports with such a massive performance. We also see many of all these kill points to be favoring not only Donkey with that big 10-pointer, but also Team Flash, who's gotten themselves into take up the battle.
I mean, it's Indo pride, so to speak, because the top performing teams for this round are both, coming from Indonesia. BTR, Voindunky. Of course, there were also Vampire Esports from Thailand. And we really cannot deny the power that, Team Flash that showed us, for this particular match because, from the get-go, they have been aggressive. And we want more of that action coming from Team Flash. Head-to-head here, ladies and gents, damage output, obviously, it's a wide gap here that was set up by Bigatron, especially with the elimination points as well. So I think it's safe to say that Bigatron won this head-to-head battle.
Definitely, and of course, taking a look at the best performing member so far, Snape. You saw that double swing onto those members of ASI8, and my, that was the beginning of the end for everybody else out there because that got them super riled up, and there's definitely a lot more that BTR is going to show us in these upcoming matches, but we're going to be moving into Nobar next. So I want to see this side of Snape once more. 800 over damage, 500, or should I say 5 eliminations to be taken down. And that was accompanied by Razy, where, Federalis got taken down by his own teammate, but it just goes to show that this team could just swing with any member and they're going to hit super hard.
One of the major concerns I think for BTR before was the fact that, Federalis was a Filipino, and perhaps, the language barrier would be kind of an issue for BTR, but so far so good. I mean, he's blending in well. I mean, the rotations, the synergies kind of perfect, and, they have been making quite a statement, in the official tournaments as well. So I am seeing a bright future for Bigatron, to be honest. Now, that is, again, a convincing win, for the side of BTR. Again, Indo Pride. So I want to see that from the comment section. 23 points in total. And then we have Voindunky here coming in at second place with 16. So first two teams in the match leaderboard comes from Indonesia. And then we got Team Flash from Vietnam with 13. And Vampire Esports from Thailand with 11 points. So we've got at least 5 teams here, or 4 teams rather, that ended the game with a double-digit score.
That's right, and a lot of all these other teams are also catching up to speed. 4 tribes, despite having their run to be ended early, they did manage to win their duel. The same could be said about a few other notable squads out there, but mainly the top 4, which consists of majority of these Southeast Asian teams, are still looking super dominant in the matches of Wrangle, and I believe that to be a trend for a long time coming. Tops have a golden number of a triple tree for the longest distance of elimination. Meanwhile, this circle definitely was very troublesome for a lot of teams to rotate. Even four Miracle Vibes did not really make the cut. And that also goes to show how difficult these matches have been for today.
Yeah.
Tied.
And they're currently tied up. Again, with just one game, right? I mean, okay, so, well, to be fair, Bigatron now has a total of 2 chicken dinners as well, so pretty tied up with Horror Esports. I'm not sure where. Okay, maybe because of elimination points for Horror Esports is already at 48, so not exactly sure why. Okay, but anyway, we'll figure it out later, ladies and gents. But I can already see 3 Indonesian teams on the first page.
Yeah, they definitely have the usual consistent results when it comes down to sticking to their tactics. Majority of them definitely have got a really strong foundation because of their coaching staff as well as analysts to always provide them just about good enough of an information to work around whichever course that they actually play towards. So things are looking rather smooth for them. Meanwhile, of course, I think the bottom of the page, we've said time and time again on the current struggles that PEL members are currently facing. But some of the names, like Team Secret as well as Semline, wasn't exactly involved. Therefore, there's no movements whatsoever other than certain teams surging up the top.
I was thinking a while ago, looking at the roster right now, the BTR roster, and I was wondering, who is not playing currently. I think that would be Satar. So it's Voxy in, Satar out, and they're still performing great. So that is something to look out for. But anyway, I do love what I'm seeing in the comment section. You guys, I love all of the hearts that I'm seeing. You know, positive energy. Nobody's fighting. That's what we want. So, ladies and gents, continue on bringing in the positive vibes. We need it as well. So don't go away. We'll be taking a short break. So don't dare change that channel.